Playing for one's country or playing for one's NHL team? Which should take precedent when it comes to the Stars deciding to play through injury or rest for a playoff run? Pierre, we know Matthews is going to play in the Four Nations. How did they come to that decision?
Well, it's based on his health, Gino, and ever since he's come back the second time from his injury, this is the best he's looked all season. It's the best he's felt. Obviously, the stats back it up. And so there really isn't much of a discussion. He's back. And so if you're healthy and you've been named to the Four Nations to your respective country, you're going to play. This event matters a lot for a lot of people. And so it just so happens Minnesota Wild are in Toronto on Wednesday. Team USA GM Bill Guerin had planned to catch up with Auston Matthews, and he did that after the Leafs morning skate. And it's a full go for Auston Matthews, barring a setback between now and Team USA's first game, obviously, which is 2 weeks Thursday. Bill Guerin also met up with the Leafs GM Brad Treliving, and they briefly touched on it. I mean, this is not meant to be a big deal. It would be a much bigger story if they all met and said, yeah, he's not going, but that's not the case. He feels good. And listen, the idea that he's choosing one team over another, I don't really get that. I mean, he's proud captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. No one's questioning Connor McDavid, who's the captain of the Edmonton Oilers, playing for Team Canada. So it's, barring a setback, Auston Matthews looking forward to playing in his first best-on-best event for Team USA.
Are we in a catch-22 here, Pierre? The league wants the players to take the event seriously and not to bail unless they're seriously hurt. But if the players take it too seriously, they risk getting hurt at the event. Are teams worried about what could happen to their stars?
Listen, teams have always been worried about that, Gino. You can go back to the Sochi Olympics and the injury to John Tavares and what that did to the New York Islanders season. You go back to Dominic Hasek's injury at the Torino Olympics in '06 and what that did to the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, I mean, that's always a risk, but this is a showcase event, not just for the league, by the way, for the NHL Players Association that is co-running this event with the NHL, Gino. And I got to tell you, they don't have to ask the players to take it seriously. In all the conversations I've had with all these star players, they cannot wait. For some of them, it's their first shot at best-on-best hockey in their careers. For others, it's been a long time. 8.5 years since the September 2016 World Cup of Hockey. No one's asking players to have to take this seriously. They are. But obviously, like Alex Pietrangelo, if you're not 100% and have to mend to something, you got a tough decision to make.
You've spoken with Team Canada brass since Alex Pietrangelo pulled out. You think they're now down to a trio of leading candidates to fill that open roster spot for Canada, Pierre?
Well, Gino, when I spoke with Team Canada GM Don Sweeney on Tuesday, he didn't confirm a number of players are down to. He said there's a group of defensemen that they're looking at. But he also said that there's no question that the type of minutes that Alex Pietrangelo was going to play for Canada at the Four Nations, it's a type of minutes now that they have to replace, and it might be reflected in the replacement players. So read between the lines. I think Team Canada is looking at players that can play a shutdown role, penalty killing role, matchup minutes, which is what Pietrangelo would have done. And that leads me to three names. A, Drew Doughty, activated and playing his first game of the year on Wednesday night. Can he get up to speed in time for Four Nations? Team Canada is going to keep a real close eye on him. But then it also brings up Chris Tanev, one of the top shutdown defensemen in the world. And it brings you to Mackenzie Weegar, who has a great overall game for the Calgary Flames. Those are the three names for me that are in contention for that replacement for Alex Pietrangelo.
The opening game of the Four Nations Cup between Canada and Sweden goes 2 weeks from tonight.